It's time for Cats Talk Wednesday. Small town and big city joined forces. Vinny Hardy of Lynch, Kentucky, and Terry Brown of Louisville, Kentucky, team up to give you free-flowing, laid-back sports talk. Focus on Kentucky Wildcats, as well as pertinent information in the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball.
We are back at it again on a Wednesday, Cats Talk Wednesday, summer edition. Terry Brown, Vinny Hardy, TB. We got a friend of the show joining us again tonight, man.
That's right. 2 times friend of the show. And in his honor, I did dig out some big O stuff for the Buckeyes there to make him feel at home.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Man, I don't.
I'm gonna have to give you one of my Ohio State friendship bracelets.
Ooh. Here we go. I sent you that picture of I got Ohio State sweatshirt like back when I was in high school, way back, Vinny, because the guy I grew up with played football at Ohio State. Jeff Ellis was a tight end in the early to mid 80s. So that's what got me on my Ohio State kick way back when.
All right. Okay, that's good stuff. And look, the defending national champs. And while we're on that note, the Texas Longhorns are going to be the first top-ranked team to be an underdog, and I'm sure that's just fine with you, right?
And the thing about the rankings are, everybody. It's one of those things like we know the rankings are fake, because with college is totally different than the pros. There's so much turnover each year. The Texas and Ohio State, these are two different teams than the teams that just played a few months ago, basically. But it does give it a little sizzle, right? Like I think it gives a little motivation for both teams. If I'm Texas, I'm like, okay, let me explain this to me. I'm number 1, they're number 3, but I'm the underdog. Like, explain that to me. And if I'm Ohio State, I'm like, well, wait a minute. I just cooked Texas in Texas, by the way. It's supposed to be a neutral site, but in Dallas, I cooked them, won the national championship. Jeremiah Smith still here. Caleb Downs still here. Ryan Day still here. Why are we number 3? What is Penn? Texas makes more sense than Penn State. Penn State number 2. Penn State is 1-10 against Ohio State in the last 10. It's not like at least Michigan can, brag about a little something. Penn State, like when Ohio State and Michigan are fighting, Penn State, they try to get in the fight. We're like, go over there somewhere. You're not even in it. Your little brother try to come in. Come on, this wrong talking. Going over there somewhere, Penn State. But I think it's fun though to see how it goes. And every new season, I think college football, there's a purity. Well, I guess somewhat of a purity to it that's a little different than the pros, I guess. Even though it's getting closer and closer to the pros, it makes you excited about watching these young men go out and play.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, man, Penn State, like you said, that's kind of how Pitino used to be at Louisville playing against Kentucky, just taking L after L after L, and James Franklin just keep finding ways to come up short, man.
This really has to be his year because he's the only one that has the quarterback that has been there. Even though I'm not a big fan of Drew Aller, I know all the quote unquote draft experts because he's tall and white. They love them some Drew Aller. The 2 running backs are excellent. He got some receivers in the transfer portal. The schedule is not difficult. He has Oregon, I believe, at home, and he has Ohio State. It's basically a 2-game schedule, for them. They should motorboat everybody else. Is that how that goes? I don't know. But
boat race.
That's gonna go somewhere. Like
boat race everybody else.
Boat race. There we go. All right. Mine is not working out. In trouble.
Talk about that motorboating now.
But no, they have a good team this year. I think it's gonna be a very one of the issues I have with the Big Ten and the SEC is they have so many teams now that they don't all play each other every year. Like I was excited. I thought Ohio State would play Oregon again this year, and I see they're not, on the schedule, or I see we don't play Indiana. Like, we don't have the same schedules. And so those exciting matchups you don't get every year because it's not the Big Ten anymore. It's 18 teams, there.
And y'all just threw geography out the window. I mean, it ain't
Yeah, it's kind of wild. It was wild. It still is weird to me when they say, "Oh, UCLA, Big Ten, or USC, Big Ten, or even Texas." Sometimes I forget Texas. They're like, "Oh, it's a Big Ten SEC match." I'm like, "We playing Texas though." I'm like, "Oh no, Texas and Texas A&M and Missouri, the SEC." It's always been I think at some point it's just going to be maybe 2 super conferences. Or it's going to be just everybody goes independent or something like that, because the majority of the top 25, I think it's something like it was somewhere the amount like 15 to 20 teams were just from the SEC and the Big Ten, and pretty much all of the top 10 teams. So it's college football has evolved a lot in the last decade or so.
It really has. It really has. We got to talk about you personally, because I just saw on Highest to Lowest you were chopping it up with one Spike Lee, man.
Yeah, I got how cool is that? I get these opportunities from time to time. Oh man, I wanted it. This is a scoop for you guys. There was supposed to be a media day here in LA, and it was going to be Denzel, Jeffrey Wright, and Spike Lee. That was the original lineup, and in person too. You told me, not the Zoom, in person, but how logistics is for stuff like that. I think they all end up staying out in New York and just doing the Zoom interviews. But yeah, being able to interview, Spike Lee, going to see the movie a little early, as well. It's after doing it for so long, you guys know this. You meet certain people, you talk to certain people, and it's like you just feel like I'm just a regular old person. I'm talking to Spike Lee, the man made Malcolm X, and he's talking to me, and we're chatting back and forth. And he did one of the coolest things that have ever been done to me by a celebrity or by an athlete. Normally, when we do these interviews, they're very strict. The PR people, the studios can't talk about this, can't say, and the time is normally strict. 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And they're in a little side chat room, like, they're really intense about it. So, I asked my questions. My time was running out. I said, "Hey, Spike, I appreciate you taking the time out and all that." Spike said, "No, brother, you're going to keep talking." He said, you asked me some good questions. Ask me some more stuff about the movie or whatever else you want to talk about. And he let me go on for another 5 minutes, and I'm over there like this because I'm scared, because I'm like, I know they're in the back, like, but he's like, "No, brother, you go ahead, get you some more time, ask me some more. You have some more questions, ask me some more questions." And I talked to him, and you see the video in about 7-8 minutes when it's only supposed to be. I edited it up a little bit. It ended up being about 10 minutes, but it was only supposed to be about 4, and that was just a nice thing to do. That he knows as an independent how much that helps the credibility of not just myself and my site. And so especially when I talk to guys like you who I know are helping people that look like us, that type of stuff doesn't happen enough. So I was more than grateful for that.
Yeah, that's awesome for him to give you that extra time.
Mm-hmm. I saw it, and I was watching it, and he was comfortable. He was loose. He was just kicking it with you. And like you said, he said, "They ain't gonna run us. Let's keep it going." So I was like, yeah. And so the way you felt talking to him, we feel that way. We have people like yourself on. We get off here and say, "Man, we just talked to Mr. BSO." Yeah. So you feel that way about Spike. We feel that way. He's talking to you, and we're like, he came on a second time. He didn't say, "Nah, once enough with y'all." He actually came on with us again. So
no, man. Anytime I feel like every day that I'm in this industry and I get to do anything, it's a blessing, because when I got out of college, things were not looking great. It was looking bleak. When you're looking at a life of maybe working at a call center or working at the mall or something like that, And then, one day you look up and you're at a Super Bowl, or you're talking to Steph Curry, or just talking to you guys about sports, talking to a show where people, maybe, I don't care if it's, I know you guys got thousands and thousands of listeners, but if one person in Kentucky is like, oh man, I didn't know who that BSO guy is. He's kind of cool. I'm just so appreciative for anybody that interacts with us, because it's not work, I guess is the best way of putting it. It's like, this is what I always wanted to do in some capacity. So if I have the time, I'm always willing to do, because like I said, people like the gentleman that hooked me up with Spike Lee is someone that I've known for like 10 years. And when he first started letting me do those movie interviews, he didn't know if it was going to be all right. You know what I mean? He was taking a chance on me. Let's put it like that. But he saw what I was trying to do. He saw I was working, and it was like, I remember the first one he did. It was, this is a true story. The first opportunity he gave me was it was an Ice Cube movie. I think it was Ride Along with Kevin Hart. I'm not sure, but it was some Ice Cube movie. But I was at the Super Bowl in Houston, and the interview was in LA. And he hit me up while I was in Houston. I was there like on a Monday or Tuesday. And he's like, look, I got Ice Cube set up for you 10 minutes at the such and such hotel in LA. Yeah, got you first time ever. You're gonna be good. It's gonna be great. And I'm in Houston. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? This is the first time I've ever gotten like a Hollywood interview. So I said, I'll be there. I flew from Houston on a Thursday morning all the way to LA. Got there Thursday night, was at the hotel, did the interview with Ice Cube in the morning, got on another flight out of LA, all the way back to Houston for an appearance that I had to do at an after like event for the Super Bowl. But I was hungry. So it was, and then he had took a chance on me. So if I say, hey man, I'm at the Super Bowl, there ain't nothing I can, do about that. I may never, 10 years later, I'm talking to Spike Lee.
Wow.
And he's had me talk to, I did interviews with Ronda Rousey, with Kevin Hart, Michael B. Jordan. I've done interviews with Samuel L. Jackson. All because of this one. He runs a PR firm, but he's kind of like a single, but he has all the connections and everything. All because I didn't, even though I was, I don't even think he knows I was in Houston. I just was like, I'll be there. And he knew he can count on me. And he knows that if he asks me to do something or do an interview, it's going to be good. I'm not going to overstep. I'm not going to say anything crazy. I'm not going to be controversial. I'm going to ask good questions. I'm going to study. I'm going to watch the movie. I'm going to be where I'm supposed to be. And he trusts me. So, when they have a Denzel Washington movie and he's like, I need your help, it makes me feel, good inside.
Yeah. That's good stuff, because with the movies, so much of the movies is just asking these stars ridiculous questions just to get that viral moment. You see how they did Liam Neeson with this last movie. Like, what are we doing here? Get to the meat and potatoes. And I have found if you ask people good questions like what we try to do, you get good answers, and you get people like yourself to come back, because hey, these boys ain't messing around with my time, right? Well, if somebody gives you 5 minutes, don't just waste it being silly.
Yeah, normally it's the other side that gets away with that.
Well, true.
They have a little more rope than our side, which I always try to explain to our young journalism people that you really got to be on point, on par with your dress, with what you're saying, with what you're asking. I know I've taken younger people as I've gotten older aside at events. And be like, if you're gonna ask a question, man, think about what you're asking, say it fluidly, make sure it's unique. Don't try to make a gotcha moment. I was like, it's you just don't want that type of reputation. And I remember a long time ago when I was covering the Cavs, and this was back in the Tristan Thompson really was in it with Khloe Kardashian and stuff. Those were really popular stories on the site. And people kept DMing, you gonna ask? I said, it's time and place for everything. If it was a If it was a Kardashian red carpet or event, then yeah, maybe you would answer. So but he's playing in the NBA Finals against Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson. It's time and place. You have to understand that, So I say, yeah, I could do it, and it would go viral. But would I get invited back next year?
Right.
You guys are live for a day or two, right? And they'll be, everything was funny and everything. But what about my job? Next year. Right. When they're like, so we're cool on that. You got your moments, And that's happened to people before. They've pushed it, and then they don't get invited back. And who are you doing that for? You're doing it for an audience that is not helping you make any money.
Yeah. And we've run into that at covering the games that we've covered. I've had friends, you should have asked the coach this. You should have asked the players that. I'm like, I ain't trying to be antagonistic. I'm trying to be invited back.
Right.
Like what you tweet about, what you rant about at the bar or the barbershop, it doesn't work in a professional setting.
Exactly. And
I mean, it just doesn't.
It doesn't. I mean, and that's not to say everything has to be softball or anything like that. I always say with questions, and I cannot stress this enough, it's not the question in itself that is normally the problem. It's how you ask it. It's how you present it to the person. If you're presenting something sensitive, especially say on the losing side, the person is lost and everything, you have to really think and be sensitive with how you put that. But a lot of media people, they don't have any, I don't know what's the word for it, but it's like they don't have any gauge of empathy. It's like they only know one way to go, and it's just, it's just. So like, how do you feel that you lost by 35? It's like there's a, there's a way. Like, what do you expect from that question? Yeah, you missed the block that got your quarterback a broken leg. What happened there? Just like there's ways to ask those questions without just the athlete just being like, I really want to just take his neck and just instead of see it in their face. Because if you notice an athlete, if you ask a stupid question, there's always this moment where it seems like their brain is thinking about assault. And they take a breath and be like, I make $35 million a year, and they go ahead and answer. That's where
that's it. Last time you were on with us, you mentioned like you carry yourself different when you're at like an MMA event or UFC event. You have to handle yourself different as opposed to other rooms or other venues or other situations. So can you just elaborate on that, or how you have to enter those settings where you do have to handle yourself different?
Yeah, each room that you walk in is a different beast. Each organization, each league kind of handles themselves a different way. There's a certain level of professionalism, a certain level of security, a certain level of oversight that is seen. That's something that I had to learn is when you go into something like fighting sports, they actually encourage a little drama and entertainment and back and forth and argument. It helps, I guess, with the selling of the product, so to speak. So you can be a little more free. Also, in fighting sports, for example, the fighter is much more accessible. Meaning that if Bud Crawford and Canelo are fighting, they may just be walking through the casino one day and just stop and talk to everybody. Or, fighting, Conor McGregor, these guys, you would just see them out, boxers and stuff like that. I'm not just going to be able to walk and find LeBron James, or Steph Curry or Tom Brady or whatever it may be. There's also, much stricter, standards. Like, for instance, with the NBA, they have I don't know if a lot of people know, they have like a grading system of how you ask questions as you get far up, like into the playoffs and things like that. They actually have an individual who has little notes. And when you ask your question, he notes who you are, what you said, the response that you've gotten and things like that. And they take that into consideration when deciding who to allow to ask a question going forward with the next player. The better your questions, the better the more likely he's going to call on you. The worse your questions, the worse the reactions. The only way you're going to get called on if nobody else has got their hand up. So it's almost like a test so much. and then, just, like I said, it's the situations dictate, if you're going to be, say, on camera, you want to dress as such, right? Like, if I know the NFL has cameras everywhere, right, following everybody. So if they get a glimpse of me, they're going to see me in a suit. I was Rob in the background. He's going to be in a suit. Other places is like, it's just YouTube, So it's like, maybe I'll be in a shirt and a thing. And then also you have to take your standing within that organization into consideration. If it's Stephen A. Smith, he can pretty much do whatever he wants. ESPN or whatever, they can do, what they want. If this is your first time or your second time, you're still building up your reputation. I've gone to 100 or so fights. So I can walk into a press conference with a polo and shorts on if it's 170 degrees in Vegas because everybody knows me and I've established myself as someone that has always been there and has helped the sport, grow. But if this is your second time they've ever credentialed you and this is your first big fight, they don't know who you are. They're going to notice, this guy's just in here just bummy and all this. He's eating popcorn. He's taking pictures with the green girls and stuff. So it's all about, I guess, assessing where you're at in your career, what you're doing, who you're interviewing. I was interviewing Spike Lee. That's why I have a sweater on and it's 90 degrees, out here. If I was going to do Spike Lee and Denzel Washington in person, I would have had a full with the suit on, with the vest, the tie. I would have had the whole, thing on because that's their royalty in our community in regards to that and needs to be respected as such, right? If I was doing an Adam Sandler movie, probably not. If they would have me do Happy Gilmore interviews, I wouldn't say I would just dress bummy, but it wouldn't have the same seriousness, to it.
I'm imagining my mom. I'm out here interviewing Denzel in a t-shirt. She'd be like, "Baby, you need to put a suit on."
Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's standard, man. Just know. That like goes without saying. For us, you gotta have a suit on. You talking to him?
Suit on.
Yeah. Not even black. Yeah.
You never know who's watching. You never know who's listening. Like I think I told you guys, I'm trying to write this this book, a black protagonist, action mystery hero, and I never know. Maybe I write the book, maybe it gets published, and 5 years from now, I say, "Hey, Spike, you remember me? This book, that I think we can make it to a TV show or a movie. I was the guy you gave extra time to. Remember me?
Whatever it takes."
You just never know who can help you. Just like I got a lot of help finding an agent to help with the book because I knew people that had written books, mostly biographies and stuff like that. But they at least got me on the right page. And whenever the book does get published, I think I'm going to have a lot of people that hopefully read the book and help me promote it because you don't have too many black protagonists in fiction novels. Go to Barnes and Noble, you'll see what I mean. But if you want an ex-military guy that's a super soldier, they got plenty of those. that's the whole row of ex-military, ex-secret agents, ex-things, and then all of a sudden got to solve a mystery. They got a whole block of those.
Absolutely. I'm gonna jump back to UFC real quick because as somebody that's been there and like you said, you established yourself and the sport and they know you. This 7-year, $7.7 billion Paramount deal. You think it's gonna work for him to go that route? Or?
Good to be good in good with Trump, isn't it? Good time to be in good with Trump. Because the UFC was they were not making ESPN any money anymore through that model that they were doing, the pay-per-view model. They just wasn't bringing in the subscribers, wasn't bringing in the viewer numbers that it at the beginning that it had, and so it was a little surprising for them to get over $1 billion a year because they don't have any recognizable stars right now. They don't have a Conor McGregor, they don't have a Ronda Rousey, they don't have a John Jones, they don't even have a Daniel Cormier. They don't have where you can go to the grocery. Like right now, you go to your grocery store and say, "Hey, do you know who Shedeur Sanders is?" And they're like, "Sure." Yeah, even if they don't even know football, you know who, Steph Curry, LeBron. Even with boxing, I think most, Canelo Alvarez is, yeah. They don't have that star that would say, I want to spend $80 on a pay-per-view. So I think that's why they went with the model of, hey, we're just going to put it on streaming, similar to kind of how the WWE does it. But I'm trying to figure out where they're going to make the money back if you're Paramount. Because if you're not putting it on pay-per-view, then that means you have to sell it to advertisers, and advertisers are still a little squeamish on fighting sports. They're still a little squeamish on, UFC. It's not like the Super Bowl. It's not like the NFL. So, I mean, it's good for Dana White. It's good for the investors. I would say it's good for the fighters, but they've signed these big, massive contracts before, and the fighter pay has never went up. The fighter pay is around anywhere who you believe between 10 and 20% of the revenue. Where a boxer is likely to get anywhere between 50 to 60% of the revenue of a fight. It's sometimes more than that. So even though boxing is not getting the type of TV deals, they're still getting paid more than the UFC fighters, which if I was a UFC fighter would piss me off a lot.
Interesting, man. T, I've been just throwing questions out left and right, man. What you jump in here, man?
Well, Mr. BSO, I know you've been doing a lot of movie reviews, and I enjoy those movie reviews because you always take it a step more than just a surface level of a movie. And so I appreciate that. So what movies lately have really jumped on your radar?
Well, I try to do, I try to stick to the genre that I know. I'm not one of them, I'm not the romantic comedy guy that is going to help you out and everything. So I like the superhero movies, horror movies, comedies, things like that. I know you've heard a lot probably about this movie called Weapons. That's supposed to be. I didn't like it. I don't think it's for us. I mean, that's the only thing I can't really pinpoint why everybody thinks it's such a groundbreaking horror movie. And I grew up on horror movies. It does not touch anything that Jordan Peele has ever done. But they keep saying it's on par with that. And I'm like, nah, I know what on par means, and that's not it. There was a lot of discussion about Ice Cube's War on the World. It had a 0 Rotten Tomato score for a while, so I took a look at it. It's not great, but there's context. It was shot during COVID, so no one can shoot together. So that's why all the scenes are individual scenes and not two people are in the same scene together. I mean, it was one of those movies that should maybe been on Tubi, but but I got through it. I didn't want to turn it off. It wasn't that bad.
Those Tubi movies is wild.
No, they're all wild.
I just like reading through the descriptions because I'm like, how you make a movie out of this?
Yeah, that's why I said, I can write a screenplay for Tubi. I'm telling you, that's however much time I got left, I want to be writing books and screenplays. So I'm like, these people are not good.
You the Spike Lee and Tubi. That's what you're saying.
I'm just saying. I told my wife that I said, because I read a lot and then I watch the stuff and I'm like, I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything, right? But I'm like, my stuff is at least as good as this,
The thing is, Vinny, in some of these Tubi movies, it's like they're just making up as they go.
Yeah.
Like, no, you go over there. Like, it seems like they making the scene and then they film it right after making it up.
Like they're all, they're not supposed to be comedies, but I guess they end up doing a lot.
Oh, this like horror.
Those are my favorite movies. The ones where they're supposed to be dramatic, but they're just so silly. It's just so bad. It's like, this is really funny. Like anything that Tyrese is in. You want to watch? If you ever like a late night and you're depressed, and you say, I want to watch a movie that's supposed to be like serious, but you're just gonna start crying, laughing. Watch A Death Race. With Tyrese and Jason Statham. Yeah. Tyrese is a gay racer in prison. This is supposed to be a serious movie about death race. But I'm telling you, it's the funniest movie that you would watch it and say, are they screwing with us when they messing with us?
So he still just can't get out of the racing genre. No matter where you go. He's Fast and Furious and now Death Race. Okay.
Yeah, he acts the same way that he is on Instagram. You know, I've met him a couple of times, and that's how he is in person. A very joyous, loving, hug. I'm your best friend type of guy, and then maybe 2 minutes later he's crying. Like he's just that type of guy. Talk to anybody, friends with anybody, doesn't see himself better than anybody, but he has a lot to say about a lot of things, and often very emotionally. I mean, he's a high and low type of guy. But I think he's a good actor in his own way. The same way that, like, you would say, like Vince Vaughn or the guy that played Elf. Is like how they kind of play. They almost play themselves.
Yeah.
And in every role, but it kind of works. That's kind of how I see Tyrese.
Interesting. I think I even saw Elf TV with Will Ferrell. Look at that.
Will Ferrell, yeah. He's like
there you go. You finally have seen some movies that we were talking about, Vinny.
Every once in a while, man.
We gonna get you on these Tubi movies, and then you gonna be like, "What in the world?"
That's something.
I'm a little curious about this Death Race and this just crazy.
Man, watch Death Race, man. I'm watching late night though, maybe after a drink or two. It really enhances your thing. So I can't watch anything until late at night because I got those 2 little girls. So nothing is coming on till after 11 around here.
Yeah, I got you. So man, TV, I know you got to get with the W, man. Y'all got to put anything, the latest.
Oh yeah, the WNBA. Yeah, it's man. I just want those people to be serious. That's all I've been asking for is. Do y'all know we can see numbers? Do we know how these things go? And because I see Maine Mountain people like, oh, they booing, so this means that. No, you just boo who's in your arena. If they're the other team, you boo.
Yeah.
Like there's no psychology behind it. Like you wearing the opposite jersey, I'm booing you. It doesn't mean I think you're great. It just means you on the other team. It's just so ridiculous.
It's not surprising that once Angel and Caitlin both got hurt. Besides, the throwing of the objects, it hasn't been much WNBA, talk. It's funny how that works because, they're not playing. It's hard to use them as your engagement baiters. There's nothing to use. It doesn't work quite as well with, Cameron Brink or Paige and all of them. It only kind of works with those 2. So I do hope that they come back, but it also shows their worth. I don't know. I said, I watched a couple of games and I'm like, I think the weird stuff is kind of dying down a little bit. I don't take the throwing of the objects too seriously. I know some people take it very seriously. I take it as you are entering a stage to where you are now considered a major league. And with that comes some weirdness, at times. I mean, once you guys start fighting in the crowd, then it really be, locked in. But I think maybe it has to take one more year, one more roll around. Maybe it has to take the Juju gets in the league. But I think when we get to year, like I say, 4 or 5 of Caitlin and Angel and then Paige and Juju and Floge and the rest of these girls that are coming in, these new, what I would like to call stars before off the court as well. Right. I think they're really going to blow up. I think the problem last year was Caitlin was just so far ahead in popularity than everybody else. It just pissed everybody else off. Now that there's a couple of more people that are with her and more that are coming that have their own fan base and stuff, it evens it out a little bit more, that the conversations will end up being better.
Right, because I'm new to the WNBA, but it just seems like rookies had a pecking order until recently.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that Gino said before Caitlin, like, this is a different league and blah, 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 blah. But you look at her class, Caitlin, Angel, and Cam, Rakia Jackson, that's four big ones. And then this year, Sonia Citrone, Paige, Kiki, like, you've got people hitting the league that are bigger stars than the stars in the league.
Yeah. Well, what happened was previously these young ladies were stars in college, but it didn't cross over to the WNBA. So what happened was, if Kelsey Plum or Sabrina was a star in college, and they come to the WNBA still was at this kind of flat line. So Kelsey couldn't make Sabrina a bigger star. Sabrina couldn't make Asia couldn't make Sabrina a bigger star because they were at a flat line. It was just these were the people that was watching and that was it. Well, now what's happening is, Caitlin and Angel comes and we go from a flat line to this. So now when Paige comes, instead of starting here, she's starting here.
Right.
And then when Juju comes, instead of starting here, she's gonna start here. So it's an elevation of each star off the back of a star because it's not flatlined like it was. And we saw that in the NBA, like this, the 70s was flatlined. Then it was Magic, and Magic helped Bird. Magic and Bird helped Jordan. Then Jordan. Oh, I should say Isaiah, and they helped Jordan. But Jordan also helped Malone, Stockton, Peyton, Charles. Charles Barkley's not as big without Michael Jordan. Ewing. All of those guys, even though they didn't win, they're elevated by Michael Jordan, right? And then you have Shaq and Kobe, which elevates LeBron and Wade. And then Wade and LeBron elevates Steph. Everybody elevates to now LeBron, Steph, they elevate Jokic, Giannis. Who does that help? Oh, that's international. Luka, Wemby. It's a step up. You didn't see that in the WNBA for a very long time. Now you're seeing building blocks, stepping stones to where in 10 years, somebody's going to come along and they're going to be as big as Caitlin Clark because Caitlin Clark was that big.
Right. Right. What are your thoughts on the CBA for the WNBA? I know they got to get more money.
Yeah.
I don't think their league is losing money like it should. My point has been every pro league, when it comes time for a CBA, swears they're not making money. MLB does it. The NBA does it. Like, nobody's making any money, but when a team comes up to sell, there's always people lined up to buy it, right? And so I think the WNBA, they do need to make more money. They do need to act like this is a serious league. But my thing is, y'all ain't going to see them books. Like the players ain't going to see them books now.
The problem with I always think the problem with the NFL, right, is they do a CBA and they lock themselves in for 10 years. Okay. And then by year 3, you got 20 players, 30 players like, God dog, I'm stuck in this stuff. I can't get out of this. I can't get out of these guarantees, these contracts. Everything is messed up, and there's no way out. When you're a growing league, sometimes I think the inclination is get something in strong and long so we don't have to worry about it. I would say it's the opposite for them. They have now unlimited potential. Go short. Say, okay, all right, you don't want to give us. You're in a strong position right now. You'll be in a stronger position in 3 years. You're expanding. You got new stars coming in. You got your Instagram, your social media. You'll change the schedule. Because right now they're in a weird spot where they're getting ready to come up against the football, baseball, basketball, all this stuff. It really crushes them toward the end of their year. Take something with, that's a 5-year with a 3-year opt-out. Take something reasonable because normally I'm not opposed to strikes or walkouts or lockouts to get what you want because you are the stars in the sense. There is no league without the players. But in this case, I don't know if they can withstand a work stoppage. I don't know if those casual fans are locked in enough to, like, an NFL fan be like, they're complaining and whine and all that. As soon as the football came back, they'd be right there. And I think it's the same with NBA players, and we see it with baseball and stuff like that. I don't know if a WNBA fan is so – like TB, I don't know if you're so locked in if they just took off a year, you just roll right back to where you were before. I mean, I don't know if they have that luxury.
And that's been my point. And I've had conversations with my wife. Like, I know there's sexism. Like, I'm allowing for that. But they need to understand that they're not quite to, like you're saying, Rob, like the NFL can almost roll out anybody and they still gonna get these games played. Like they've established that. Like that's their whole brand. I don't know if the WNBA has done it. It took baseball forever to kind of get back after the 94 World Series. The NBA, it took a while to get back from 99, and so I don't know if the WA is to that point yet where they can just miss because people just find something else to do.
Also, we don't know what nobody's asking for. Like they are, like I said, we don't know the books. It's a really complicated system. They have every team is not owned like by an NBA owner. Some of them they just have investors and investments. They've gotten help. We don't know how much the actual NBA has put into it. I know they own a percentage of it, but we don't know how much money they're putting into it. We don't know how much the outside investors get paid back. All we know is they only get 9% of the revenue, but the explanation for that is because they don't make any money. So maybe if we had a clearer understanding of what is going on, right? Like you said, why would they do that? Why would they tell us, oh, for the last 10 years, we've actually been making X amount of dollars and just using the rest as a tax write-off or whatever, it may be. I will say these ladies are probably more educated than the men because most of them go to college for 4 years.
That's right. That's true. That's true.
Most of them get their degrees. Most of them are very intelligent young ladies. I mean, they're smart. So I think they understand the position that they're in. I just hope it works out because you would hate for the momentum that they have to just come to a grinding halt because they come to some sort of fair settlement.
Yeah. So what's next for you, Mr. BSO? The Headline King. You just finished talking with Spike Lee. Yeah. What you got coming down the pipe? What you about to cover next? What's going on?
Yeah, so I guess the next big major thing is I am going to do the Bud Crawford Canelo fight in Vegas. It's going to be at the Allegiant Stadium. That's probably the biggest fight in American boxing or North American boxing. I guess he's Mexican this year. So that's a big thing. Obviously NFL season starting is a big deal for us. NFL is still the king, and then basketball starting toward the end of the year. As I told you guys, I'm still trying to knock out this book deal as well. Thinking about the future, where things are going to go. I'm excited though. I think I always said, or someone said to me a very long time ago that your life is like a book. It's just different chapters, right? You're born as chapter 1. Every big life change is a chapter in your book. Like when I got married, that was a big life change. I had two more little girls, it's a big life change. I think as I get closer to much closer to 50 than I was 40 now. It's time to make some other changes as you go through this. Wouldn't say final stretch, but definitely the back end, the back third of the novel of life. It's there's good days and bad days. I was talking to my friend about this yesterday. We're in a very weird time in society, basically a dictatorship right now. But we have to find a little solace every day that we're okay. We got good family, good friends. People still thankfully enjoy listening or interested in what I have to say about certain topics like you guys. So I really appreciate that. I still get to do cool things like, you just pointed out. So I'm just going to keep on moving forward one day after another. Just pray for the best, pray for all my friends. I even pray for my enemies these days. It's like, because at this point, you're too old to be holding grudges. You just got to keep moving forward and hope everybody's blessed.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Who are your favorite NBA, NFL, MLB players growing up as a kid in St. Louis? Who was on the posters on the wall? Who are your favorite guy?
So Deion Sanders was my clear favorite player as a kid. I wanted to be Deion. I wanted to rap. I wanted to high step. I was into flamboyant type of figures. I was a big Michael Irvin fan when I was a kid. I think everybody liked Jordan back then, Allen Iverson. I used to like, I liked in St. Louis, we had I'm dating my age. We had a baseball player named Willie McGee.
Oh man,
yeah, Willie McGee. I remember. Willie McGee jersey, a Vince Coleman jersey, with the baseball. I was big into wrestling, just like Ric Flair.
Okay.
And, definitely a big Ric Flair fan. I never liked Hulk Hogan, R.I.P. I was always that kid that liked the villain. You know, I always liked Batman, but I liked the Joker was my guy. I always liked Lex Luthor. I always liked the bad guy of the story. I always thought the bad guy was always more interesting, the motivations, than the good guy. So I always, in sports, I always kind of tended to lean toward the guy that's causing a little bit of a controversy. Like I used to hate Jerry Rice because I thought he was I used to think he was just so anti, like Dion said. It's like I thought he was just everything was all buttoned up and I just did not like Jerry Rice. With Teodo, yeah, that's what I got. But then come to find out, as I got older, Jerry Rice was doing some things behind the scenes that wasn't as pure as I thought as a teenager. But I used to hate Jerry Rice. Yeah, but I really used to like Dan Marino. I was a huge Dan Marino fan, and remember the Mark brothers, Mark Twain and Super Duper. Yeah, those Miami teams. I was big fans. I was big fan of the Raiders back then because everything was like NWA. Everybody wore the black and everything. And I used to like Al Davis was like the coolest white man to me. Like ever, I love me some Al Davis. Always fighting against somebody.
The Al Davis story, how he got to be in control of the Raiders, is fascinating.
Yeah.
And he would sue the NFL and win a bunch of stuff. Like that dude was a renegade. So kids, Google Al Davis. He was that dude.
Back in the day, we only had like 30 cable channels before all this stuff. ESPN used to show those the NFL films with Steve Sable and all of that stuff. And they used to have John Forenza, the voice,
the frozen tundra.
I remember they had the autumn wind. I was like, oh, well, what over? And coming things and doing it. They show the guy hitting the guy on the Vikings and his helmet flying off. Man, I thought that was the coolest as 12 years old. The quarterback must go down and he must go down hard. I'm like, ooh, man, I used to be fascinated.
But do you think that's why the NFL kind of took over? Because it's the one sport that's very cinematic, right? It's very, it's just, and with the NFL films, and you got it's cold and the steam's coming off people's heads, and you can zoom in, and there's just pieces of the field on the helmet. And
I think they understood that. They understood that it was like a TV show.
Yeah,
and they covered it, as such.
Yeah,
and they've continued to use those aspects of it, and to this day. I think also whereas NBA and MLB concentrated on the individual. The NFL focused on the team. So the individual can come and go, but the team aspect always stays the same, which why you don't hear that small market, big market thing when it comes to football, because Green Bay fans are as crazy as Cowboy fans or Giants fans or Steelers fans, or Cleveland fans, because it's the team. But when I was a kid, I mean, I was the only child. And back then, like I said, you only had so much you can, watch during the day. The cartoons was off after a certain time, and it was like Sports Center and whatever sports was on. At that time, you try to sneak a little sexy movie when your mom wasn't watching on HBO or Cinemax late at night, and that was pretty much your day. I remember my mom came in one day. I was watching. I'll never forget. It was some, it back then it seemed like a lot that you was watching, but in retrospect, it really wasn't that bad. But there was this movie called Emmanuel in Space. Yes. And she was doing weird stuff in space. And I was sitting there watching, and my mom normally knocked. I don't know why she didn't knock this time. It just came in. This white lady was in space, and stuff. What are you watching? I'm turning off the cable today. And I said, Mom, I said, Mom, you can't turn off the table today. We're not paying for it. Remember, we stole it. We gave the guy $50 and he hooked up the wire in the back. I was one of those kids. Too rational.
Yeah.
She got the only person calls Bobby. Bobby, that's not the point, Bobby. That's not the point. That's not the point. I'm sorry, Mom. I said it was just on. I just turned it. Ain't my fault we getting it illegally. Who you gonna call? Huh? Who you gonna call, Mom?
You man hitting Mom with all that logic. Look at you.
Can't call nobody. They're gonna be getting us. We don't have this for a whole year.
That's hilarious. That's
I hope
hilarious.
Mom don't get no bill right now. They listening. We remember them littles.
Some backdated invoices coming back to them.
I won't surprise it. Now when they listen to us every time you say something and your phone, all of a sudden there's 8 ads about it. I say definitely paying attention to us.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. Well, we appreciate you taking time to hop on with us again. It's always an honor to talk with you, and the fact that you're able to hop on here with us and take time out, man, we definitely appreciate it.
Now, anytime you guys need me, let me know. And that stuff that we talked about before, you just hit me up anytime. I'm ready to help you guys with that. And thank you again. And always fun to talk to you guys. Let's do it again soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
We have some real games to talk about next time.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
All right, appreciate it, sir.
Appreciate it, Rob. Robert Littal, BSO. Running the show now, like you said, TV.
Yeah. I had to dig up. I'm not even sure why I had that Ohio State.
Hugh been there earlier. Appreciate that. Yeah. You just bought it and you just got so much gear, man. You don't even know what you got in there.
I mean, look, I got all my Kentucky gear. Because I've seen people like, "Are you a Kentucky fan?" Yeah, I'm a Kentucky fan, but I can also rock stuff just to prove points. I got a lot of stuff, a lot of college stuff. I got are teams that would either play or beat Louisville.
Oh, okay.
I told you I got a Rutgers shirt.
I don't think I knew you had Rutgers.
Yeah, I got a Rutgers shirt because this is when Louisville was in the Big East and they were like 8-0 or 9-0. They were playing against Rutgers on a Thursday night. And this is way back when I was still in Louisville working. The guy I worked with, he was against Louisville as well. He said, "Hey, man, we should get some Rutgers shirts just on the off chance Rutgers beats them and kind of derails that national championship season." I said, "Oh, I'm in. I'm in, definitely." So we ordered it. And Louisville lost last second heartbreaker. Thursday night football, Friday night at work, casual day. I had my record stuff. I didn't even take the tags off. I wasn't even trying to pretend I was a long time Rutgers fan. Yeah. You know why I'm here. You know what I'm doing, right? And so all those Louisville fans that were getting all that Oakland stuff when Oakland and Golke win, like, look what I'm doing, bro. Been down that road. I ain't mad at you. I've been doing that. Yeah. Since 2015, 16, whatever that was. Like, nah, man. Okay. Which I really want them to look. I just need the Louisville fans to understand what a rivalry means. It doesn't mean you're obsessed. You're so obsessed with us. No, it's a rivalry. A rivalry is about whatever your team does. Of course you know what they're doing. Of course. Mm-hmm. What are you talking about?
Yeah, for sure.
Like the NFC East, like you don't know when the Giants are trash.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. Like, what are we doing here?
That's it.
I wanted to bring up, did you see, speaking of Denzel in the NFC East, did you see him talk about your Cowboys?
I don't think I did.
I'm gonna send you the clip of it because it was Denzel and Spike Lee on whatever the Stephen A thing was. And I'm gonna send you the clip because it's Denzel just saying, just disappointed in Jerry. Like, I don't know how you move on from Denzel Washington, who doesn't talk about anything. I don't know anything else about Denzel except he's awesome in movies. But now I know he is fed up with Jerry Jones. I'm gonna send you the clip because it's like, oh, Denzel all of a sudden stopped talking about the movie and started talking about how upset he was at Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. And my goodness, I would not want that to be me.
Yeah, I missed that. I have to.
I'm gonna have to tag you in it. I look, I ain't trying to rub your face in it. I try to be a good friend when it comes to that. Because again, there are no bandwagon Cowboys fans.
No.
Anybody that joined the Cowboys bandwagon when they were great is in their 40s and almost 50.
Yes.
Like, ain't nobody joined the last 30 years talking about, ooh, this Cowboys thing. Like, no, it ain't happening like that. So I give y'all props, man. Y'all just keep showing up.
Oh, that's it.
And it's mid-August, and it's about time for. This is our year. I'm waiting for it. That's when I know the football season's ready to start. We're gonna get a lot of. How about them Cowboys? Yes. How about them Cowboys? Yes.
Yeah, that's.
Will this be the year they play in January? Who knows?
Oh man. Yeah, man. It's the whole Michael Parsons thing, the whole just so much stuff that a lot of frustrating stuff, man. I was trying to see if I could find it. If I'd have known, I would try to bring it in the video and embed it, but I don't think that's gonna work.
Well, I'll send it to you. We'll talk about it because I was like, "Oh, Denzel, okay, come on." Got the equalizer and things, and woo! I'd hurt my heart if Denzel talked about my team like that. But anyway, as the NFL season approaches, I don't know, man. Like, I'm hoping that the window is still open for my Niners. We got this pattern of either winning 6 games or going to the NFC Championship game. That's what it's been for like the last decade. So hopefully, once we get 7 wins, I feel confident.
All right. Wasn't there some maybe? I thought there was somebody with contract stuff again. All this was somebody struggling or disgruntled.
Jennings got his money, but everybody's injured now. So I don't know what it is, man. If we can get healthy, we'd be all right.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
So I'm just gonna roll with it, man. NFC Championship game or bust.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, you see, on Matthew Stafford, it's time for him to step back. He got an epidural for his back, which isn't great. Mm-hmm. And so the Rams starting quarterback is Jimmy Garoppolo. And I'm sorry, Rams fans, you can't scare us. We are familiar with his work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, we are familiar with Jimmy Garoppolo's work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not scared of the Cardinals. Not really scared of Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. So I feel like we can win the division. And then after that, Philadelphia may be the only really team I would be scared for. So keep it moving.
All right. So
college
football, January. Okay.
Yeah, our beloved Cats. I don't know, man. Like 4 wins, 7 wins. I don't know. Look, if you're not on board with the football team, great. But you don't need to comment after every post from the football team.
Right.
Football team doing some kind of charitable thing. We don't need you on there talking about, well, you're only going to get 2 wins. Okay, man. Like, save that for something else.
Yeah.
We don't need to know that.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about David Rayner and the picture that everybody's making fun of with our guys holding hands and jumping in the air? You remember the old Toyota commercial? Oh, what a feeling! Everybody would do a little tuck jump with the legs tucked behind them. Oh, what a feeling! Toyota, you 80s kid, you remember that, and that's what they were doing. So of course, we getting roasted by everybody.
Whatever, man. Like, apparently somebody said it's a TikTok thing, and I don't understand anything about the TikTok because I'm an old person now. Whatever. Like, that being a talking point, like, We only won like what 3 games last year, 4 games, whatever it was. Like
Yeah.
that's the fact Kent State may be favored in game 1 is more something I'm focused on. They got more top 25 votes than we did, so that's the kind of stuff I'm worried about.
Yeah, they picked to win that conference, so that's it's not a super duper cupcake coming in here, and like TB, we've seen it. You might have been in the press box when they tried to give Steven Jackson a day off against New Mexico and New Mexico State. Yeah,
I was like, we gonna get this season. He got to come in. Like, look, man, that's my whole thing in the discussion of Kentucky football. I understand we need to elevate, but I'm not looking any win. Like, I'm not gonna look any win as a guaranteed win. I've been a Kentucky fan for too long. And people talk about our floor needs to be 7 or 8 wins. What are you talking about? Like, what exactly are you talking about? That the floor should be 7 or 8 wins. And then I talk about, I've shared this on podcasts I've been on. Like, for whatever reason, we think, 8 or 9 wins. Should we? No, that's number one, it's a very short list.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even great teams that aren't on this list.
Right. Yeah.
Michigan, USC, their name programs over the last, I forget the numbers now, but it's like they're not on that 8 or 9 win list every year.
Mm-hmm.
So while we thought that we would be able to jump on that list, it takes a lot to get on that list.
Yeah, it does. You had a bad year last year. You're playing all the same teams you played last year. You got a whole bunch of new people, which probably needed a whole bunch of new people, but how's everybody going to click? So it's just a lot of moving parts to get, I was talking with Dick Gabriel the other day. It was like, if everything went great, like best case scenario, you stay healthy, the quarterback fits, the offense works, the defense clicks, everything that could go right does go right. How many wins are you still thinking? He was like, 7.
Right. And that's not defeatist. That's realist, right?
Yeah.
As the new teams have come in, you embrace getting to that 7 or 8 wins,
Mm-hmm.
and you get told that you're embracing mediocrity and you're embracing whatever. And I'm like, I see who we're against.
Yeah.
Like, the road to Atlanta has gotten tougher. I think that window has closed. Back when Missouri was representing the SEC East, maybe that coulda, woulda, shoulda been Kentucky to take advantage of Florida being down, Tennessee being down, South Carolina being down, but we didn't take care of it. And now you have to be the top 2 of the conference.
Of how many teams now?
14, 16, 16, right?
16 teams, yeah, 16.
Like that. So the door has gotten really, really, it's tough. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it is wrong to say, man, I don't know, but I'd be happy with 7, 8 wins if we could do that.
After 4 last year, that'd be a nice little bounce back.
And, I hate bringing up the Iowa thing, but a blurb, that old time college football came across. Iowa won the Big Ten championship in 1981. It came down to Iowa versus Michigan at Michigan. Iowa won 9-7, 3 field goals. But that's how they get it done. Yeah. The last 10 years, only one team has held opponents under 21 points a game defensively. That's Iowa, right? And I say that to say you've got to find a way to win. And Iowa, we've been talking about last few years not scoring. That's what they do. Like, this was 1981. They went to the Big House, held Michigan to 7 points, kicked some field goals, and won the game. That's what they've been doing for 50 years. Man. Like, we talk about, it's a way to win.
That's their formula.
And people are like, well, that's not sexy. Because I've explained to people, I'm like, look, man, what Iowa's done, Kirk Ferentz, number 3 all time in Big Ten wins. Been there for 27 years. And I'm like, if a Kentucky coach ever did in the SEC what Ferentz has done and Hayden Fry before him, he'd have a statue in every corner in Lexington that's beating your rivals 70% of the time. Because Iowa's got a lot of games where they win a lot of crazy trophies, the Cy-Hawk Trophy, the Floyd of Rosedale, which is the pig trophy between Iowa and Minnesota. There's something I'm forgetting between Iowa and Wisconsin. You win those games, right? Maybe you finish third or fourth in the conference. Every now and then you beat a Michigan or Ohio State. You beat Penn State. If Kentucky did that, that's golden.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think that this expansion of the playoffs, it's kind of fool's gold, because I don't really think that expands the number of teams that can win it. It expands the number of teams that can play for the championship. But I have a feeling we're still going to see the same teams over and over again. College football has always been top heavy. Like, we talk about this brand new day with NIL revenue sharing. Like, Alabama's going to be Alabama, right? Ohio State's going to be Ohio State. It's going to be the same teams because those teams care. I mean, think about, like, from the teams we saw growing up playing for championships, who has stepped up to really be new to the group?
Fringes, Oregon, just because of Nike money.
That's right. Because of Nike money, you have to be very clear, because of Nike money and investment.
Yeah.
Right. Boise State for being quirky, but that's knocking on the door. But who are the teams in last year's playoff? Right.
Ohio State,
Texas, Penn State.
Yeah.
Like, what is this, 1985 again? Right? And the teams knocking on the door, like your Georgias and your Alabamas, and you might see a TCU pop up every now and then, but that's not who this is for, man.
That's true.
It's much better to come in as a basketball and try to become a blue blood. That's where you can kind of have these discussions. But the college football blue bloods, it's been the same. I see people try to debate. You're not adding to it. No. Those teams care too much. Now, we've seen teams take a step back. We've seen Miami take a step back. We've seen Nebraska take a step back. But if they were to jump again, it's not like they're coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, they just
so that's
back to where they were.
Right. So that's the thing. It's like, you're not going to see a team on the football side do what UConn has done.
Yeah.
It's not built for that.
They got 6 now.
5 or 6, isn't it? I don't know off the top of my head. But winning the first one in '99 and getting, I think it's 5.
2 for Hurley, 1 for Ali. Did Calhoun get 3?
Calhoun only got 2. He got 99 and 04.
Oh, Emeka and Rip Hamilton.
Yeah.
So 5. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. I thought they had 6 and okay. Good.
But 5 in 25 years. But again, they new to the club, but I wouldn't call them a blue blood.
Did we lose Kevin Ollie?
Yeah.
That was Ollie.
In 2014.
Golly. Okay.
Yeah.
Lord.
With Shabazz Napier and them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a little clip of John Wall against Connecticut in Madison Square Garden. And we've been dog walked ever since by Connecticut. And not really great Connecticut teams. That's the thing that sticks in my craw, is they weren't really great teams, but I'm not going to go down that road. Yeah. Basketball season's coming. But
they got hot and won the tournament that one year, and the Big East, and then they did an NC State, but they won it. NC State got hot and got to the Final Four, but yeah.
So, but you don't really see that with football. So you still have to say, what is a successful season for the basketball, or for the, what should your fan expectation be? Should Kentucky football fans, should we demand playoff appearances? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that that's what the realistic expectation should be. Now, should an Elite Eight be on the men's basketball side? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we should be making it to the second weekend all the time. Like that should be the bare minimum.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can have that on the football side. Should the volleyball team contend for a SEC championship? Yeah. That's kind of what 8 in a row gets you.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we shoot for here, right? So I think that's part of it. I think baseball, yeah, you should make the tournament, and host a regional every now and then, host a super regional every now and then. I think that's acceptable.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I just want to see my teams win. We can debate this player, this coach. Like, I just want to see my team win when I turn the game on. That's all I want to see. I'm not here to debate a whole lot of stuff. I just want to see my team win.
UConn and North Carolina, two of the few that lead the overall head-to-head series against like you said, 1-4 against Connecticut. That's
yeah,
1-4 against them.
And St. Louis is one of those teams too. We have a losing record against.
The Billikens.
Yeah, a lot of those games from the '60s. But yeah, we got a losing record against them.
Yeah. What about a guy, man? So you saw Tyrese Maxey with the can opener.
I just think that there's a gap between what the youth know and what we had to know. I really don't think that Gen X and older millennials understand that once the computer, and I think I saw something on Retro News, that Twitter feed, the home computer was introduced in 1981, right? And so we're 4, 5, whatever. I don't think we really appreciate how much the world changed as quickly as it has. When you look at a way that a lot of the cars have changed tremendously in 20 years.
Yeah, you see an old Caprice now, you're like, oh, whoa, or an Oldsmobile 98, like we saw them all the time, and now,
the phone really stayed the same for about 50 years.
Yeah, right.
TV stayed the same for about 50, 60 years, and then cable comes along and it really changes, right? And within 30 years, we go from cable to streaming, right? And I think that, I have to, not old man yelling at a cloud, but a lot of this stuff, they don't know.
Yeah.
In our lifetime, it's gone from regular TV to VHS to DVD to streaming. Like every 10 years, something has popped. And it wasn't like that before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just look at some of the, your furniture, that like things have really stayed the same until the last 30 years. And every new year, boom, 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 something else is popping along. So when I see a young kid, why would they know? Why would they know about what it means to roll a window down? They've never rolled a window down, right?
Yeah.
Or the icon, the floppy disk to save something. They don't know what floppy disk is.
Yeah. Oh, and that's our girl Carol. That's he's her favorite. He's her favorite cat. But I mean, he had no problem like being vulnerable. He really was on there on Instagram. Like, look, I don't know. He said, y'all asking about the season. I'm trying to figure out how to open this can so I can feed my dogs. He said, everybody that's in the house that knows how to do this are not here right now. And so this is where he is, which there's stuff that, at some point in our lives, because look, we're twice as old as Tyrese Maxey. There's been some stuff where we've been looking back and be like, oh, I should have known how to do that. Or maybe you're embarrassed to yourself. You're like, ooh, oh, hope nobody saw whatever, or you trying to figure something out. I can't think of nothing, but there's some stuff that we've been like, ooh, I should have known that. He just had that moment in front of everybody, and he put that out there in front of everybody that, look, I don't know how to do this. I really don't. I'm serious, y'all. I need somebody to help me figure this out.
Yeah, and so I don't get mad about stuff that people don't know. If you weren't here, like there's no standardized class or anything like that, because I see that prompt on Twitter every now and then. What's something your generation knows that the younger generation won't? One of these things, just like rolling. What does it mean to roll down a window?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Right. Like my girls' classes have had smart boards. I remember, chalkboards. I remember the overhead projector that would get like radioactive hot. I remember the film strips, right? That we would have to, load the film, or the slide projectors, right? That was one of my things in my second grade teacher. I was the one to make sure the slides were in the right, that kind of stuff changes.
Yeah, that's it. Speaking of changing, a friend of ours is about to change her routine as far as watching the cats. Our friend Tina Cox, who has covered the cats, I think 13 years, wrote an article for Larry Vault's site. We've known her forever, and she's going to step away from covering the cats because she's got grandbabies that are growing up, and she's going to take them to Rupp and go as a fan and enjoy their soccer games and all the things that she would be missing if she was, going here and there to cover games. So, she's come on here, I don't know how many times. She's beyond family of the show.
Yeah.
And y'all, look, I got fond memories, but you even go deeper. Road dog, Tina Cox. So
yeah. We got to be hassled by the Blue Devil at the Zion Williamson game. That was fun.
And that was in Indy, right?
Yeah, I'm saying fun. Yeah, Tina's been great. Just love her approach to everything, but she understands, she wants to spend time with the grandkids. So tip my hat to her. She was nice enough to give us a shout out.
Yeah.
Article. We've been on the road. We've seen lots of things. We saw Sister Jean together. We've been in some losing locker rooms that we'd rather not have been in. So definitely great. Tina's just fantastic, salt of the earth people. Broken bread. She's hung out with Mama B.
Yeah.
All my love to Tina.
But you came back from Boise and then went to Atlanta with Tina, right? You like trying to recover from the West Coast, and then you was down south in the ATL with Tina.
Yeah, and learn my lesson of picking a hotel off the cheapest, because you don't want to go where it's an active crime scene. Just a little something for you kids. But yeah, we were there when the Shea team lost to Kansas State. That was not fun. And I decided right then, I don't care what else I cover, I am not going to a losing locker room.
Yeah.
That was what, and she put that in her, because we talked about it then. Like that's, I'm too much of a fan to be objective when it comes to that. But Tina's been great working. She worked with Larry, worked with Cam and company. She's been fantastic. So enjoy them grandbabies.
Yeah, that's it. And we knew her before she was even a grandma. She don't even think the first grandbaby hadn't even come along yet, and now she got 3, and they're growing up. And like you said, they'll be doing stuff and having fun. So appreciate Tina. Like she came on from Toronto when they were playing in Toronto. Yeah. She hopped on and came on with us then. We, like you said, we've been to her house in Danville there in Boyle County multiple times. Chopped it up and broke bread, and I think we went out to eat at what's the spot? Rafferty's and
Rafferty's,
Rafferty's, yeah, just all kind of fun stuff with Tina. So enjoy the grandbabies. Everybody in the media will miss you, but we definitely understand. So make those memories with the grand girls. So you're a girl dad. She's a grandma of girls. So
yeah, I shared that picture on my social media of oh man, I can't think of her name, but the WNBA player with her dad just sitting in the stands after a game. That's what hey, being a girl dad is awesome, man. And yeah,
good stuff.
because I got to go watch my girl, my youngest, play some field hockey this year at the end of the month. I'm excited about that. She's making herself a team captain and working and doing. So I'm proud of that, man.
Absolutely. So enjoy that here in a few weeks. And it's a nice little note to end it on as we got another summer episode in the books. Making our way towards those real games that we talked about. We have Mr. BSO back on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Safe travels when you go and watch your youngest child play. You can't use their nicknames anymore. Like you said, that's outdated because they're not little anymore. So
yeah, she out here running 6-minute miles. I'm like,
all
right. Oh, okay. She's like, we can run. I said, you didn't beat my top when I was really working today. I'm not going to see a 6-minute mile again unless I'm in a car.
Exactly. So, man, appreciate you. Be safe when you travel.
Yeah.
Appreciate BSO, everybody that jumped on and watched or will watch or listen later. Appreciate Jason Huber in the comments.
Yeah.
We'll pop back next week and do it all again here on the BS3 Network. Go to Spotify and give us those little 5 stars. And wherever you listen, we appreciate it. Thank y'all. We'll holler at you next week. For TB, this is Vinny. Another episode of Cats Talk Wednesday on the BS3 Network.